Tag TV brings you daily news bulletin from India. Breaking news and views from India. Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I am Uzma Jaffrey. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Friday, the 3rd of May. India ramps up relief efforts after Cyclone Fani hits eastern coast. Pakistan's top court rejects Nawaz Sharifs' petition for bail extension. And Afghan government ready for ceasefire, says President Ghani. And now for all the details. A powerful cyclone Fani lashed coastal areas of eastern India on Friday with torrential rain and winds gusting up to 124 miles per hour. Relief efforts gathered pace soon after, as elaborate plans had already been chalked out by authorities to ensure minimum impact.
Relief efforts gathered pace in cyclone shelters as a powerful cyclone Fani lashed coastal areas of eastern India with torrential rain and winds gusting up to 124 miles per hour on Friday. People staying at a relief camp in eastern seaport town of Paradeep in Odisha province were being served cooked food as heavy rains and strong winds uprooted trees and electricity poles and brought down power lines. Tropical cyclone Fani spent days building up power in the northern reaches of the Bay of Bengal before it struck the coast of Odisha province at around 8 am, the Indian Meteorological Department said.
अभी सुबह मॉर्निंग में ब्रेकफास्ट के लिए हम लोग कुक फूड थोड़ा सर्व किए हैं. अगेन वी विल कम बैक फॉर लंच आल्सो. सो वी आर प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर 2000 पर्सन्स. सो वी विल डिस्ट्रीब्यूट अमंग ऑल द साइक्लोन शेल्टर्स.
Howling winds gusting up to 124 miles per hour whipsawed trees, uprooting them and driving rain impacted visibility, while streets were deserted in Odisha's provincial capital Bhubaneswar and temple town of Puri. Odisha had evacuated more than 1 million people from the most vulnerable communities along the low-lying coast. The National Disaster Response Force, or NDRF, had deployed around 50 teams across India's 4 coastal provinces. India's cyclone season can last from April to December, when severe storms batter coastal cities and cause widespread deaths and damage to crops and property. But recent technological advancements have helped meteorologists predict weather patterns more accurately and prepare.
Security forces gunned down 3 terrorists in an encounter in Shopian district of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province on Friday. This came a week after 2 terrorists were neutralized in a similar encounter in Anantnag district of the province.
3 terrorists were neutralized by security forces in an encounter in Shopian district of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province on Friday. The encounter broke out after security forces launched a cordon and search operation in the Imam Sahib area of Shopian on Friday morning. The exchange of firing took place between the two sides after a contact with the terrorist was established. The area was put under cordon and search operations were still underway till the last reports came in. India has long accused neighbouring Pakistan of harbouring terrorists who mount attacks on Indian soil. The Indian Army has claimed to have gunned down more than 24 terrorists since a suicide bomb attack in Pulwama district of Jammu and Kashmir in February killed at least 40 security personnel. The attack was claimed by Pakistan-based Jaish-e-Mohammed terror group.
In news from Pakistan, Pakistan's top court on Friday rejected a petition by former Premier Nawaz Sharif for an extension in the bail granted to him on medical grounds in the Al Azizia Steel Mills corruption reference. His 6-week bail is set to expire on May 7.
Pakistan's Supreme Court on Friday rejected a petition by former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif for an extension in the bail granted to him on medical grounds in the Al Azizia Steel Mills corruption case. The top court also rejected the former Premier's plea to allow him to travel abroad for treatment. Nawaz Sharif has been granted bail on medical grounds by the Apex Court on March 26 for the 6 weeks to receive cardiac treatment without leaving the country. On April 25th, he had submitted a review petition in the Supreme Court seeking a permanent bail on medical grounds. He had said in the plea that unforgivable damage will occur if the bail is not extended. Sharif has sentenced to 7 years in prison by an accountability court in the corruption case in a verdict announced on December 24th last year. His 6-week bail is set to expire on May 7th.
More on news from Pakistan. A top coordinator in the drive against polio in Pakistan said that over 1 million Pakistani children missed vaccinations in April amid fake scare against polio medicine. Every year, Pakistan's government mounts public awareness campaigns, but suspicions against polio vaccines persist.
Some 1.4 million Pakistani children missed getting polio vaccinations over a 3-day campaign in April because of false reports that the vaccine had made children sick, said the government's top coordinator in the drive against polio. Coordinator Babar Atta said 37.6 million children were vaccinated against a target of 39 million. Parents were scared off by false rumors on social media that some children were being poisoned and dying from contaminated polio vaccines. The rumors spread like wildfire, triggering mass panic in northwestern Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province. Mobs even burned a village health center, blocked a highway, and pelted cars with stones.
We knew that there was community mistrust, but community mistrust in one segment of society which refuse vaccination due to religious beliefs will translate into the rest of the country is something not seen in the past before this in the polio program, because I've worked in the polio program myself for 8 years and we haven't seen any such phenomena in the past in the program. But it clearly tells us that a lot of actions and work now needs to be done at the community level and in restoring public trust in vaccination camp.
Mistrust of outsiders and modernity goes a long way to explaining why polio remains endemic in Pakistan. Some Muslim clerics have peddled stories that the vaccines are part of Western plot to make Muslims sterile, while militant groups have killed scores of health workers and their guards on the pretext that they could be Western spies. Every year, Pakistan's government mounts public education campaigns and recruits Muslim religious leaders to reassure people, but suspicions against polio vaccines persist.
In news from Afghanistan, Afghan President Ashraf Ghani on Friday called on the Taliban to declare a ceasefire during the month of Ramadan, saying that the government is ready to declare a ceasefire provided that the Taliban is also ready for a ceasefire. He also asked Taliban to prepare for peace talks inside Afghanistan.
Afghan President Ashraf Ghani on Friday called on the Taliban to declare a ceasefire during the month of Ramadan, saying that the government is ready to declare a ceasefire provided that the Taliban is also ready for a ceasefire. While addressing the closing ceremony of the Grand Consultative Jirga on Peace in Afghan capital Kabul, Ghani also announced the release of 175 Taliban prisoners as an apparent gesture of goodwill towards the peace process. A 23-article resolution was also issued at the end of the summit, mainly focusing on declaration of an immediate ceasefire and launch of intra-Afghan dialogue, local media reported. The consultative peace jirga concluded after several days of debates among 3,200 delegates to specify the limits of peace process. The Assembly also recommended that a timetable for US troop withdrawal be set, the Taliban should move their office from Qatar to Afghanistan, and amendments to the Afghan constitution be made after a peace agreement is signed.
A woman who lost her husband and 2 daughters in one of the Sri Lanka's deadly bombings on Easter Sunday is struggling to accept that they all are gone. She refuses to accept that she is her family's only survivor.
A woman who lost her husband and two daughters in one of Sri Lanka's deadly bombings struggles to accept that they are all gone. Chandima Niranjali Yasavardhina has not been able to accept the reality that she is her family's only survivor after a suicide bomber targeted a church near their home on Easter Sunday. The story of many families changed forever on that fateful day as simultaneous bomb blasts hit hotels and churches across the island nation, in which more than 250 people lost their lives, including 40 foreign nationals.
මට වචන වලින් ඒක පෙරලන්න බෑ චූටි දුවගේ සපත්තු දෙක මං අතින් අරගෙන ලොකු දුවගේ අතේ මොන හරි තිබිච්ච ඔළුවේ තිබුණ වේල් එක හරි මං අරගෙන දුවගෙන ගියා මං ඉස්පිරිතාලේ පුරාම මං දිව්වා පිස්සුවෙන් වාගේ දිව්වා මට මතකයි මං කොච්චර වෙලාවක් දිව්වද කියලා මතකක් නැහැ නමුත් මට දැනුන්නේ චූටි දුවවත් ලොකු දුවවත් මං දාලා ගිහින් කියලා ඒක මං පිළිගන්න කැමතිුනේ.
Normalcy seems to be slowly returning in Sri Lanka as it plans to reopen more than 9,000 public schools across the nation on May 6th with stringent security measures. Security forces have said that they are maintaining a high level of alert amid intelligence reports that the militants were likely to strike before the beginning of the Islamic holy month of Ramadan on May 6th.
A mock drill on disaster management was conducted in iconic Dal Lake in India's Jammu and Kashmir to train the volunteers in dealing with natural calamities and flood-like situations. The volunteers were imparted basic training in boat rowing, making improvised rafts and swimming so that they can come handy at the time of emergency.
With an objective of training the youth in conducting rescue operations during natural calamities and flood-like situations, the State Disaster Response Force or SDRF recently conducted a mock drill on disaster management in Srinagar city of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province. The special mock drill was conducted in the iconic Dal Lake as many dwellers live in the houseboats and hundreds of vendors sell their products on floating boats in the water body. The drill was aimed at imparting basic training in boat rowing and swimming to the volunteers so that they can come handy at the time of emergency.
तो ये एक्सरसाइजेज आज का अगर आप देखें ज़्यादा रिलेटेड है फ्लड से इसमें हम दिखाना चाहते हैं लोगों को कि अगर खुदा न खास्ता फ्लड हो तो एसडीआरएफ या एनडीआरएफ कैसे वहाँ पे रेस्पॉन्ड करें और कुछ ऐसी चीज़ें हैं जो आम लोग अपने घर में भी कर सकते हैं जैसे इम्प्रोवाइज्ड हम दिखाएंगे यहाँ पे राफ्ट्स कैसे बना सकते हैं उनका यूज़ कैसे कर सकते हैं मकसद है कि लोग अवेयर हों उनको पता चले कि अगर खुदा न खास्ता कभी ऐसे हालात दोबारा पैदा हों तो उसमें हम कैसे रेस्पॉन्ड करें कैसे अपनी जान बचा सकते हैं.
Owing to its extreme weather conditions, India's Jammu and Kashmir province is prone to natural disasters. Many water bodies in Kashmir Valley, including Jhelum River, Wooler, Nigin and Dal Lakes, had showed dangerous signs during the floods in 2014.
A man in India's Bengaluru city is surviving only on rainwater, taking water conservation to another level. An architect by profession, the water conservationist, along with his family, even grows vegetables and fruits with the harvested water and organic compost fertilizer.
An architect by profession, Vishwanath, living in India's southern Bengaluru city, is using only rainwater for his survival from the last 25 years, giving water conservation goals to all. Vishwanath, without using any pipe supply or market water bottles, uses rainwater for cooking, drinking and even runs a farm with it on rooftop of his house. He never allows rainwater to flow in drainage and stores it in different tanks and purifiers which purify the water naturally, making it usable and healthy.
It's the old concept of what's called reduce, reuse and recycle. And in addition, we do rainwater harvesting. What we do is we pick up all the rain that falls on the rooftop, filter it and store it at various places.
Vishwanath said the rainwater is not stored for more than a month as Bengaluru receives rainfall regularly. His family also grows fruits like mangoes, jackfruits with a toilet compost fertilizer.
Well, that's all we have for you from South Asia this evening. Now our viewers can watch the show on southasianewsline.com. You can also visit us on facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time next week. Have a great weekend. Good night.